The bright moon illuminated the beautiful snow-white palace. The voice announced, "Enter Mr. Felix and Lady Claudia Chamberlain." Some guests were indifferent to the appearance of a couple. One of the girls extended her hand, a whisper hailing the arrived lady. She listened carefully to her. "Claudia, now you need to choose." The white-haired lady with blue eyes did not understand what was being discussed. The interlocutor with brown hair added, "Of course, the groom." Claudia still did not understand, asking with interest, "For what? If you do not choose, these 3 men will kidnap you and lock you." But how will I say this? There are reasons for everything. First, listen to me, please. The first is the crown prince who will take the place of the ruler of the Empire Loxine. If you choose Lucas Darien, you will become the mother of the empire. It was evident that this man was not Claudia's pillow. The interlocutor stared dumbfounded at the lady, mentally striking her. Also a good option is His Highness Duke. Carlisle is the city of chaos, which is known for different types of crimes. They say that all the power there is in the hands of Benjamin Lemberg, and he will lead everything. In wealth and influence, you will not even give in to even the Kronprinz sect. It will be more correct to hear the opinion of the girl about the one to whom she belongs. Claudia said displeasedly, "I am not interested in criminals." Her interlocutor dumbfounded even more, screaming mentally. Then, "How do you like the hero of the empire, the holy knight Constantine?" After the reform, even clergymen can bind themselves to marriage. A man with long blue hair said, "I think you have already heard the answer. The clergyman who devoted his life to God. He abandoned faith and married." "What outdated views? Choose, I tell you." Suddenly, Claudia took a serious look and said, "I didn't want to say this, but I will spend my whole life with Irene." All those present immediately froze in place, looking at the girl. In their heads, the words just said. Their faces were full of shock and misunderstanding. They did not want to believe in what they heard. The girl, whose name was Irene Amber, was shocked the most. The real name is Kim Hoo-soo. A year ago, I moved to a novel fantasy. No matter how you look, but I seduced the main character. By the way, this short story is a drama filled with cruelty. Kim Hye-soo possessed the ability to attract people. However, it applied only to the owners of the same gender. Therefore, Irene was surrounded only by girls. She had a short story that she loved from school, namely, a flower growing on a dried branch. Briefly, Sarav. However, she is known not only as a drama filled with cruelty, but as a book that is only worth opening, and you can no longer help but read to the end. However, this does not mean that I want to degenerate by the hero of the short story and live in it. Irene, being the eldest daughter of the Embers, mired in debt. In Sarev, she became a girlfriend's friend, and then she got into the incident and died. If I want to survive, you need to avoid the main character. However, when Ember's Weissnism was almost mired under a pile of debts, Claudia became my light. She found me and saved me. Only because of our friendship did she completely compensate for debts. And I decided to stay for the rest of my life for Claudia. And now 3 candidates have departed from shocking news. Claudia, is it not dangerous to declare that you will not get married? With a naive expression on her face, the girl asked, "Why?" Irene desperately shouted in her head, "For my life! Your mouth has become triangular now, like a chipmunk." While Claudia squeezed Irene, she screamed, "You are already focusing!" "By the way, I found a dress in a boutique that Irene is ideal," the white-haired girl said, "and I want to give it to you. You will accept him from me? Irene is so kind to me. I will survive only if you connect your life with one of them. But why are you constantly clinging to me? Do you want me to come to terms with fate and die according to the role?" Contrary to everything, Claudia continued to squeeze Irene's cheeks. Crown Prince said angrily, "Do you want to spend your whole life with this? I hope I heard your speeches, Claudia. Otherwise, I will not be able to resist that, in order not to turn your neck with your little and fragile bride." Suddenly, he held out his hand to the death of the frightened Irene. However, his hand did not reach the goal. A slap was heard. Claudia cried out, "Do not touch it, your high! I will not sit back, even if I in front of me is Crown Prince. I dare to notice that you have quite unusual preferences. After all, she almost became my slave as a loan for debt." The white-haired girl screamed, "Are you threatening Irene now?" Benjamin answered, "And you are smart. Is this the power of love?" Suddenly, Irene felt a pressure aura behind him. She turned around and froze in the next impulse of fear. If you use force correctly, you can even kill a person. The girl called out to Claudia. She immediately hugged her, protecting her. she said. Do not worry, I will not let you touch. I don't understand why you are trying to defend the right to possess Claudia. She is not someone's property. Respect my sister's opinion. Would we not listen to what Claudia herself thinks about this? Well, of course, only Irene and brother respect my opinion. All three are hateful to me. Do you think enough say that you like me? Straight, frightening, and do not want to reckon with my opinion. You are all like savages. Only Irene can completely possess me. While Claudia screamed, the spirit emerged from Irene. Then she demonstratively took her friend's hand. Let's go. What kind of love that they all talk about so much about? Is it to be disrespect for a partner as love? This is just a sense of selfishness and possessiveness. Just a desire to win and get a precious trophy. I wish they stopped greedy and left me alone. I can never love such people, even if I die. Irene carefully asked. Are they so hated by you? Yes, just disgusting. Each of them is disgusted to me the same. I give love. How dare you refuse? They have such an attitude. Since those three are the main male characters in the short story, I thought that she would have to connect her life with one of them. Knowing perfectly what people they are in reality, it turns out that I was going to survive, destroying Claudia. Sorry that I constantly make you choose. Irene is not a person who would do so without reason. Surely you had reasons. But if you really are a pity, let me hug yourself. Irene smiled, answering, Fine. A joyful aristocrat immediately flew into the interlocutor. Smiling, she said, I really love Irene very much. God, now I also committed a disgusting act? I did not receive Irene's permission. What will happen now? The dumbfounded brown-haired woman asked. Just now, understand? Everything is fine, since this situation demanded that. Claudia turned again. Can you stay my friend for your whole life? Smiling, Irene answered sweetly. With great joy, she sobbed in her head. It seems that I am destined to die. Felix Chamberlain, the only older brother of Claudia, the eldest son of a noble and influential family Chamberlain, and the youngest deputy minister of the Ministry of Magic, a genius born with a huge amount of mana and talent. He has a reputation as a sincere and kind person, and also, like many older brothers, he has a nursing complex. We can say that he is something like a unicorn, which in reality does not exist. Suddenly, Irene ran out into the street, loudly opening the door. However, why is the unicorn on the porch of our house? Playing with a cat? Felix paying attention to a running girl. Sorry, I did not want to violate the norms of decency, bursting to you, the frozen Irene answered. It's okay, everything is fine. I have a disease. If next to me is the peer of the opposite sex, my face stages and speech becomes dry and unemotional. Secondary school for girls. The eldest is the same. Women's university. Because of this, the men were always asked, Are you angry? Is this possible? I'm not angry with beautiful people. An awkward pause has come. Irene realized what stupidity said. For this, you need to thank the parents who gave me my life. These brother and sister definitely go in pairs on a par. By the way, have not seen each other for a long time. Are you still training in magic even now? The guy thought out loud. Yes, this is the magic of resistance. In the original story, Felix was a scapegoat. Heroes who wanted to get Claudia when everything went to the climax. Together, they decided to isolate it using the relic, in which the magic of a demon capable of destroying the world is sealed. Felix was at a crossroads between destruction and self-sacrifice. As a result, he accepted the whole power of the ancient demon, and finding himself in his power, he destroyed his family Chamberlain. After the heroes dealt with Felix, saved Claudia, and pretended to be her saviors. I wanted to prevent this tragedy. Please do not tell anyone and study the magic of resistance. I could only ask him about it, trying to protect him. However, he gladly agreed to fulfill my request. Thank you for indicating my flaw. There is always something to learn. If you think about it, it was very rude on my part. Irene, what a relief. I did not want to wake you up while you were sleeping. The girl did not quite understand what he said asking. She cried out, It seems that there is a hidden meaning in this. If I'm not mistaken, you recently hired a new servant. Irene answered. What are you trying to say? You are constantly changing the topic. Felix said. It seems that your maid was bribed. Did you know that they were poisoned now? The dose is exceeded, so you will die soon. The girl thought in shock. What does all this mean? Will I die? Then she asked nervously, How much is I left? They answered her, A quarter of the day. These crazy people have already got down to business. But still, you have at your disposal a whole quarter of a day. If I were here, and Irene would have gone. The girl was horrified. Are the assassins really visited here? Smiling, he answered. Stay calm, I have already sent them. Irene thought. Where did you send it? Although this is not important, I'll die soon. Therefore, do not stand so far and go. I will heal you. What? Can you heal? Why did you scare then? The girl took a couple of steps, saying, Thank you for your help. You are too far. I am able to heal if I can touch my hand. Irene took a couple more uncertain steps. How? Felix took the girl's hand, saying, Understand. Closes are the same. She is also unpleasant when I look at her from top to bottom. She was lovely since childhood, so she was abducted several times. At the sight of her, people began to fall in love and care for her. If this was not enough for them, they launched power and power. Usually I dealt with everything on my own, faced with this. All the same, Chloe told that I would settle the matter, and she had nothing to worry about. Irene asked, And after because of me everything collapsed? Number clots should not be restrained. It's my fault. However, it has changed too. Due to the fact that she stayed with you. The girl was surprised. I thought it was already dead for society. Now the cow seems happy. Since childhood, I have not seen her so shining. Here, ready? Nothing hurts? Irene thanked the guy. He added, You are also completely defenseless. I'm worried. I think I understand why the Cowls were in a hurry to bring you, Felix said in a more question tone. Because you are dear? By the way, do you allow you to kidnap you, Lady Irene? A little later, Claudia flew to Irene, hugging. I have already heard the news. These non-suitable rogues have already begun to act. We dared to get to my Irene. I'll find them right now. I will unscrew each bone in the opposite direction. They lost the remnants of common sense. You need to deal with them. Clots. Maybe it is better to console Irene, who got into trouble at first. The sister shuddered, speaking. Exactly, what am I? She ran back to her friend again. Are you very scared? I became an enemy for many and expected this. But everything happened so quickly. Well, don't say that. There is absolutely no guilt here. Only they are to blame. I am busy with the fact that I am happy about life. Therefore, there is no need to spend feelings on unworthy people. Then she joyfully turned to Claudia. Will we have fun together? The girl immediately rejoiced, grabbing her friend's hand. I want to show you something. Let's go with me. The brown-haired woman was delighted that she was able to reassure her friend. Felix watched two girls smiling, left the room. Claudia immediately led Irene into the palace solemn hall. There, already working in all, the servant was preparing food and drinks. In the middle of the hall stood a huge carousel with horses. The shock surged into the brown-haired woman. She asked, What is it? Glooming with the joy of Kologa said, Gifts for Irene. She thought in shock. I have been such a great mercy. Suddenly the white-haired said, Don't like it? Something is missing? Irene answered, Even too much. Claudia did not retreat. I also separately prepared the dressing room. Maybe let's start with her? Wouldn't the best solution make a river with an artificial waterfall? And in the center, put a boat? Felix reasoned too seriously. It looks beautiful, but troublesome. It was necessary to build the paths along which trains would go. First, you need to order a high-speed train working on magic. While the brother and sister solved this problem, Irene was confused. She could not stand it, shouting, Stand! I don't like it at all. While the girl thanked Claudia, she interrupted her. Did you know? In fact, I know almost nothing about you, Irene. You know so much about me, but you do not tell anything about yourself. The white-haired grunted. I also want to know what you like. For a second, Irene thought about what is better to answer. My best companion in life is money. I love them. For food and snacks, there are separate stomachs. I love it too. And I like beautiful people, even just look at the face. I also like to have fun and get together with friends. And I love toys, sleep in an embrace with something soft. And as a child, I dreamed of becoming a loafer with a bunch of money. Then she thought disappointedly, Failure, I told everything. Clore said, Why were you worried? I do not need anything while you're nearby. Rin asked, And it's not scary that I am a lazy woman who was wasting money? What kind of lazy person are you? It is enough for me that you are near. And since I am a beauty with a bunch of money, then the perfect type is for you? Is there a need for these words? Of course, you're right, Claudia asked. When will you stop contacting me like that? Rin hugged the girl, crying out, "Klotz, you are the best!" Lovely things are valuable simply because they already exist. In the evening, Rin spoke on the phone. She was asked, "Are you staying?" She answered, "Yes, it is possible that for the rest of his life." The question was heard. "Sister, how old are you to run away from home?" "This is not an escape. I just leave the estate and say goodbye to it forever," brother said. She breaks off, "Nonsense. Do you think you are the center of the universe? How did you manage to enter the Kemberlin house?" "Although I suppose so," Rin proudly stated. "All due to the fact that I am dear," the guy asked. "I thought you were strange, but when did you become so abnormal?" "Our father is abnormal. He sold our family as a bail. Since it happened, I will use it to break all the connections. You also come after the release. You can even stay here. Felix also says that he is always glad to people like you." The brother answered, "In general, my sister is capable. I'll call later." Having pushed the phone, Rin turned to Felix. "You haven't laid down yet?" "I read the book. And who did you just talk to?" Irene answered awkwardly, looking at the guy. "With Liam," Felix thought, then said, "Liam, then, is a younger brother?" "Yes. It is quite energetic and brave. By the way, do you care about me?" "I am about the magic of resistance. You cannot worry. I'll get to the matter. Can I ask why you ask me about this?" "You won't believe it, but a year ago I saw a similar prophecy. I really did not expect this. But in your place, I would do the same." They sat down on the sofa. The guy said, "A small sacrifice for the sake of a big goal? Since you say so, it sounds just grandiose. Would you do, even if no one remembers your victim? Even if not only achievements, but your whole life will be distorted?" He agreed. Rin asked again, "Even if your choice becomes a wound for a cow?" Felix had already decided to think about these words. "Even if you have to sacrifice, I hope that she will live her life for me." "I knew so." Therefore, she asked to engage in resistance magic. "The power of the demon will not disappear because I can resist it." Irene, froze in shock, asked, "What? Will not disappear? How? Having read Sarav more than 20 times, could I miss it?" "If you have resistance, you can neutralize spells. However, demons share and move their soul when they carve their strength. After its adoption, albeit with resistance, the demon will half capture your body." Grabbing the dress, Rin asked, "What should we be then?" "It depends on the strength of the demon, but they have a common feature." Hearing about this feature, Irene fell into shock and misunderstanding. "And it consists in the fact that they do not restrain their desires at all." Rin expected something more terrifying, asking, "And that's all?" Felix answered at ease. "But they are still dangerous." Rin asked the question again. "Desires, then? And which ones?" "Depends on the artifact, so far I don't even know about it. Still, desires are laid down in their essence. They do not restrain instincts." The aura of misunderstanding hung too over them. Too complicated. Suddenly, she remembered her desires. Didn't the demon capture me either? But all people at least once experience this. The desires of people and the desires of demons are very different, since demons can kill a person simply because of the impulse. Rin asked, "Compared to those three, the desire of the demon is stronger?" The guy hesitated. Irene was imposed, maybe even worse, as they themselves have long been absorbed by the evil demons. "Although I understand what you are trying to tell me," Irene decided to clarify. "No, it seems you do not understand at all. Why do you think I posted everything to you?" "I arrived to prevent tragedy, in which Felix will resist everyone alone and die. I do not want you to be those who sacrifice yourself and die. If you become a demon, I will hold you in the arms to the end." "Would you like to listen to me with such determination?" the guy said. "It seems I understand why God showed you the prophecy," the surprised girl asked. "Do you really believe me?" Felix, smiling, answered, "I believe you are Irene. Therefore, I still do not want someone to injure you. Demons awaken all the most hidden desires of people," Rin clarified. "So you want me to be wounded?" The man answered in an affectionate tone. "Yes, something like that. Therefore, please let me go when my time will come. And I would be grateful if you weakened your hand." The girl refused displeasedly, squeezing his hand more. She shouted angrily at Felix, asking, "Do you think I'll let it go?" "I will find a way that all three become happy. Therefore, do not leave." "Your kind meant that you would like to mock me?" The guy was slightly nervous. "You are not much far from the truth. Do not hold back. You can just get rid of desire, right? Looking at the trembling girl, the man answered. It's complicated. Irene cried out. Why? Just take it and do it. Felix said strictly. Do not provoke me, otherwise I will get angry. Then he smiled. I will also try my best. Rin asked with suspicion. And what will you try? If I continue to restrain myself, but it will work? The girl said displeasedly. How much more should I repeat? If you hold back. But she did not finish when she saw Felix's hand. In one fell swoop, he grabbed Rin and laid himself on his knees. Irene, do not worry about anything and just relax, she said in shock. I am grateful to you, but it hurts my neck. Too high and firmly, the guy started up. I'm sorry. However, the girl continued to lie on his knees. Why is he doing nothing? Does he plan to mock me like that? At first it was inconvenient, but thanks to the patting of Felix, I soon plunged into the drem. He's always caring and compliant. But, looking around, in the end, everything turns out again as he wants. While I was sleeping, you together did something. This is already too much. Irene, who did not understand anything, noticed the sobbing Claudia. When she realized that she had said series, she immediately fell into shock. She sobbed again. I also want to be a pillow for Rin. I can provide my head at any time. On the knees of Felix it hurts. It hurts! It is annoying to hear because you slept so well. Suddenly, Claudia asked, Brother, aren't you working? The sun has just risen. It was still early for work. And your lessons? Today there will be only daytime. Deputy, go to work, he answered. Even if the deputy is late, no one will condemn him. Of course, unlike the close, which was walking the lesson yesterday. If you do not study, Irene will be disappointed in you. He stroked his sister on the head, saying, Then see you. That's what a person. I took it and translated all the arrows on me. Rin said, I like people who are working hard. Irene, you know that I'm not such a person? She agreed. I will try, therefore. Please do not hate me. Even if I die and revive, I will never hate you. The girls grabbed hands, looking into each other's eyes. Suddenly, a male cough was heard behind. Rin shuddered. Clores asked, Father? When did you come? He answered. Long before you? Is it true? I did not know that you were here. You would at least give a sign that you came. Hugo, sighing, answered. Your brother said the same thing. He put his finger to his lips and hissed, afraid that someone would wake up. Suddenly, he tried to turn to Irene, but could not choose the right word. She said, Speak, he said. Let's talk in private. Has the time come? A conversation with a person who stole the heart of his son and daughter. Going into the office, the girl immediately apologized. The man asked for taking your only precious daughter? And lately there has been many bad rumors about Claudia. The lady should not apologize for this. Rather, I have to thank you. In addition, she was so delighted that you could not go to that boring evening. It doesn't matter what others say while my child smiles. Then for what reason did you want to talk in private? The fact is that His Highness Crown Prince is looking for Claudia. I refused him, inventing various prepositions, but already at the limit. Maybe he no longer wants to be a person, raging like an animal. It is clear from whom she inherited such a manner of speech. In general, I can no longer resist His Highness. I understand. It turns out, first you need to reassure it. Yes, please. Kleitchis are simple and innocent, so it acts at first. And then he thinks. That is why I wanted to talk to you alone. Irene cried out. Of course, I will definitely protect your daughter. Hugo asked incredulously. Do you protect? Who? Lady. Just watch her clothes and stop it if she tries to go out. If you think about it, constantly sitting on the estate is strangling. I turned out to be boring. I did not know that Rin wanted to go out somewhere. What would you like to taste? I will buy everything you say. Dumbed with such a statement, Rin cried out, Is it true? And then he said to the waiter, Then, from here, the man asked in shock without believing his ears. Aberration? Irene answered, Bring everything. I can? This is my old dream. Smiling naively, Claudia said joyfully, Of course you can. Suddenly, Rin's eyes widened. What is wrong with the price? Do you not like that everything is too cheap here? There are such large prices that I have already goosebumps on the back. Do not worry, this is a great place. Order anything you want. Then I need to prepare a little heart for joy. A voice was heard. They say she rejected those outstanding people. Rumors do not lie. That lady? It seemed to me that it was a maid. I thought what a person who got her heart should be. But the Viscountess Irene Amber is very popular. She myself knows that in the marriage market she costs nothing, having only debts for the soul. So does she have another way out? The only way to survive is to take Lady Chamberlain to the hands, no matter how much her friend liked her. How could those gentlemen disgrace it? For some time, the phrase is not someone's property. If I had heard such words from them, I could not dream of more. Suddenly, Claudia turned to the waiter. It's noisy here. I would like to enjoy everyone with my companion alone. The guy bowed and answered. Sorry, but I ask for your understanding, Clore said. Number, can I rent this institution for the whole day? The guy answered in shock. Only those who booked in advance. Then I will buy all the cafe. How long will it be enough? Why did you stop me? You couldn't do what you wanted. Irene tried to calm her down. We can just go to the boutique. Can you say, buy everything that I looked at before? How nice. Maybe then we are going to eat? Rin already had options. A few minutes later, Claudia handed her friend sugar cotton wool. Having bitten off, Irene said, so tasty that it just melts in the mouth. A voice was heard. Before me is a man or an angel, maybe a fairy? A full, staggering man added. Already blinds the eyes. He did not calm down. Do you even have a frightened face? However, the aristocrat only asked gloomily. What is your business? Let's take a better look at the face of the young mistress, and not at a trifle. What? Feeling as if a shield arose between us from the series, the girl said. My face is really beautiful, but there is only one person in this world for whom I can look beautiful. Irene was dumbfounded by this behavior of Claudia. It promised trouble. Listen, mistress, somehow you are painfully expressed. Do you even understand what injury to people because of your face? Do you think you can only look at beautiful things? Suddenly, a man passing by heard a familiar voice. If Rin is an underdeveloped trifle, then you are an ordinary old man. How shameless! Who do you think you are talking to? You think everything is allowed to you, since I called you a beauty a couple of times? Now it could happen what Irene was so afraid of. The man had already pulled his hand to Claudia to grab. Suddenly, Lucas passing by Lucas immediately reacted to this. The drunkard's hand was too close to the girl, but she didn't even tremble. Not daring to hesitate, Klaus reached for the sword, shouting the girl. Suddenly, the guy froze, and the man was surrounded by a dozen people in raincoats, their faces eagerly hobs and masks. The drunkard immediately felt uneasy. He stunnedly invented a retreat plan in his head. Having just decided to run away, he was failing. He was captured. Several men twisted him under the screams. Spare! Looking at the girls, the old man screamed desperately, asking for help. Klaus, who watched from the side, asked himself, Is it all over? Then Claudia noticed Klaus awkwardly looking at them. The annoyed girl asked loudly, And who is this? The shocked guy did not expect to hear it instead of a name. Klings asked again. Why is it here? Rin answered. Who knows? Suddenly, Irene smiled, thinking, Everything goes according to plan. What should you do so that those three are lagging behind from the close? I spent several days in thought and finally remembered. In the units where the main character should appear, you are completely not needed. I will make them realize their uselessness. This is a great idea. Why are you here? I passed by and did not believe my eyes. It didn't hurt him at all. This inconspicuous insolent. Crossing her arms over her chest, she answered. I didn't believe it either. Klaus asked. Where did you hide all this time? I almost sent a search group to the possession of Chamberlain, she answered. I had a wonderful time with my friend. And you cannot do this for no good reason. Lucas grinned. Well, who dares to interfere with me? There is your fault here, because you ignored my calls. Both girls frowned, thinking about the same thing, to smear him. I don't know why a person who has a bride has to look for me. You ask because you don't know the truth? I love you. I said that I feel only feelings for you. This is not a joke and not a whim. And the bride is just a cover. My love is sincere. To love someone is not a crime. Irene blushed. The shame is what? Rather stop. It's hard for me. What is it, if not love? You have changed, Claudia. He glanced at Rin. Has she changed because of you? What did you do with my lovely and beloved Claudia? Klings frowned, trying to protect her dear friend. However, Rin interrupted her. He asked me, and answer me. Irene said, Clyces have not changed. She just gained real herself. Klaus grinned, answering, What nonsense are you saying? What does the series that you know look like? A girl who closed her heart from wounds? What? Everyone loves and revere it, so where to get the wounds? She has always been clean and innocent. And I never recalled me, Rin answered. Brave Kriya, which has gained happiness, are you no longer disposed of? Then this means that you love not her, but someone else. You want to say that I never loved Claudia? Do not teach me. If you want to get the heart of close, you need to do the way she wants. Why should I do this, Rin thought. I want to smear him. Because people who love stronger are always losing. The dissatisfied crown prince only dismissed a dissatisfied laugh. Claudia, if you wish something, just tell me. There is something. I want you to never look for me. Without understanding anything, Klaus looked at the girl with displeasure. Then his eyes shone angrily, and he roared. Irene Amber, I have committed a mortal sin. I dared to express everything directly to the Kronprint. You overdo it in relation to Rin. If the conversation is over, can we leave? Clor said. Okay, but where did those people come from? Irene joyfully reported. I hired them. You didn't know? It's great when he is able to protect himself, Claudia supported. Maybe then we will learn the self-defense. Rin hastened to answer. Number I do not see the need for this. For the sake of a pleasant walk, you can walk with security everywhere. Suddenly Rin turned around thinking. They threw you, Lucas. Crown Prince looked after them, not wanting to leave. Meanwhile, laughing girls went further to have fun. Kaloga said at home. Damn. Soon the celebration of the day of the foundation of the country. Families who received the territory from the emperor are required to participate. The Chamberlain family has wealth, which means their presence is necessarily. The empire has a law. You cannot build an estate more than the imperial palace. The first head of the family Chamberlain did not know how to dispose of wealth. Therefore, he built several buildings, a little less of the imperial. He also controlled the hotel, which was also a little less. Therefore, it is impossible to refuse to participate. Irene thought. How to get rid of Kronprint? The girl immediately darkened. Suddenly, a maid called to her. A call from Mr. Liam. Rin immediately got up from the couch and headed for the phone. A click of pipe raised. The girl put her to her ear. Joyful Irene asked. Hello? Did something happen? Liam said in a hurry. Sister, don't be scared and listen carefully. What did you say? Did our family also invite you to the ball? I thought it was someone's joke, but I checked everything and these are real invitations. What kind of intrigue does he weave? Okay, I understood. See you later. Going to go to action to deal with me? Do you think I'll give up so easily? I will make you a defeat. When the night came, Irene made his way to the solemn hall. Putting a cloak with a hood on herself, she went inside. She carefully looked around. There is no one here? Suddenly, she heard her name and shuddered with affright. The girl pressed herself against the door, slowly moving away from panic. If you go to bed earlier, you can still grow up. He does not seriously speak? My growth has already stopped. Felix came close to the girl and asked, What's happened? He smiled broadly, waiting for an answer from the frozen girl. Seeing the sweet face of the guy, Rin spread her mouth, staring at him. Then she slammed him with her hands, realizing what she had a look. Do you have an artifact that can move me to another place? The magic of teleportation cannot be carved on artifacts. If you do the coordinates incorrectly, you will find yourself in the void and fall. In the worst case, part of the body will not follow magic. If the coordinates are inaccurately determined, you can get stuck in the wall. I think it's better to go in a carriage. The carriage is the best transport, Felix answered. If you need somewhere, I will accompany you. Not worth it. It is undesirable for someone to learn about this place. If I come with the accompanying person, the meeting may not take place. The guy asked with genuine interest. Meeting with a man? Irene jerked from such a question, but answered. With a woman. Hearing the answer, Felix shone again with a signature smile. He thought out loud. I felt limited. Then he asked a question to the girl. Then what about the guard? Rin asked, destroying the plans of the man. Will you guard me? I will be extremely careful and will return very quickly, I promise. The girl held out the little finger for a promise, but Felix did not react. He was in complete confusion due to the fact that he could not do anything. Suddenly, he climbed behind the bosom, saying, Then take it. He handed Irene a purple stone. She asked, What is this? The gem that will give me to know about your location. If something happens to you, I can't forgive myself. Irene squeezed a stone in her hands and smiled. Thank you, Felix. In the Empire, Loxon has only two secret organizations: the City of Chaos, led by Benjamin, Carlyle, as well as the group that is engaged in the collection of information, Silentium. Unlike Carlyle, known as a gloomy place, in Silentium they can keep other people's secrets. No one knows for sure about its existence, so there are many theories. But this does not concern me, because I read the short story many times. Before meeting with Claudia to survive, I was looking for everything indiscriminately. Knowing the content of the novel, I decided to sell information. I also bought the information that was not in it. I used my characteristics and charm to the maximum. Irene has already noticed a familiar woman at the bar. Smiling, the girl cried out joyfully, "Martina!" As a result, I fascinated the most important person in Silencium. Seeing the old friend, the woman said, "Irene, come." Without daring to hem, the girl ran to the blonde and hugged. Rin decided to immediately take a compliment. "Have you changed the color of the lipstick?" Grinning, the woman appreciated the gesture, saying, "True, from the new collection." The brown-haired woman was delighted. "She is perfect for you. Cutie. It seems until we saw each other, your cheeks have become a puffer." "Rin," Martina added, "but I have something to feel. Sit down and drink a glass with me. Why are you calling so rarely?" "There are just a lot of people who threaten my life." "Because you are a girl of a beautiful flower of Claudia's society?" "Due to the fact that such an important person gives me so much love. Kronprint and I almost fought on the trading square. I think I can't come to your funeral. Are we saying goodbye now?" Irene frowned without appreciating the joke. "Are you joking now?" Martin laughed, calmly answering, "I'm quite serious. I'm sorry, but this time I'm not going to help you." Rin sighed. "Yes, I understand. I still have a conscience. I will say only one thing. Recently, the Duke of Lemberg came to me, and so it coincided that I was very interested in you. Since Sarav is a drama, there are a great many villains in it. Martin is one of them. She fell in love with Benjamin at first glance, and in every possible way helped him. Speaking directly, she was trapped, and she had to provide him with everything that he demanded. After all, the power of information sometimes exceeds physical strength. I began to act before Martin succumbed to his tricks and won. Due to the unfortunate childhood, Martin experienced hardships and loneliness. She carefully hid her weaknesses and remained alone. I just listened to a lonely girl and expressed sympathy. Apparently, to anyone can reach sincerity. You are the first person who listened to me so carefully. I only occasionally came to see her, but she was always sweet." The surprised Irene asked, "What information was asked about me?" "Very personal and insignificant. What you like and what's not, all sorts of hobbies and little things." "And all? Didn't you notice anything strange behind him? He clearly has hidden motives. He is damn pounding me." Martin reached for Rin's cheeks again. "Why are you so satisfied? Sometimes you treat me as if with a precious child. Interestingly, I would feel the same if my mother was not in her mind." Suddenly, the blonde asked, "Well, what is your business?" "You know that I received an invitation to the ball in the palace," Martina said with a mockery. "Are you talking about your new grave?" Irene answered the whimper. "Although you are right, but it is already too much." She coughed and said, "In general, I need information. What, in my words, is the basis of negotiations? If you want to get something, you have to give something in return. And as usual, I will mutually share with you information." The woman was satisfied with the response of her friend, agreeing. The next day, two girls went to the clothing store. "Sings, how long will you choose? I'm tired." "Rin is all to face, so I can't decide. Are you too zealous in choosing my dress?" "Not at all," Irene thought. And I chose my dress in a second. While Rin was lying on the couch, the series and the saleswoman wore a bunch of things. "At this pace all day it will take. Why dress me up at all? So it will not work. You need to use my strength." She spoke. "Whatever you put on, everything looks good at me." The saleswoman, having heard these speeches, immediately turned into, questioningly, "The same model that perfectly decorates any outfit." Irene lazily looked at the girl, looking for support, right? She looked at the usual and inconspicuous Irene in shock. The brown-haired woman was angrily at the seller. "Rather, tell me that I'm right." However, contrary to her prayers, the woman only turned her head. "The person who works for money is so useless." Suddenly, a familiar voice was heard. "You are absolutely right. Whatever clothes put on Rin, she will always look cute. Therefore, Claudia cannot decide on the choice. I got bored and decided to come, but it seems a little hurried. Irene spoke in shock to herself. Why, Felix is here. Not at all, Felix. You're just in time. Please take the shreds. He replied that he understood, but remained staring at the brown-haired woman. Then he straightened sharply and confidently went to his sister. The guy took the first dress. Klotz, how do you like it? It is peach color. Rin is more apricot or coral. I asked to calm her down. What kind of debate did they arrange? But Irene is all suitable for anything. After all, I'm right. Really, has she ever beautiful? By the way, the little things in the brother chosen by his brother are very detailed. Whose design is this? The seller said uncertainly. My. Claudia immediately declared the joy of a woman. I will pay you a bonus. Lady Amber is different to face, so Peach is also perfect. Brother and sister immediately shone. The girl asked, Is it true? Having come to terms with the fate, Rin said, they cannot be stopped. The very evening of the celebration in the imperial palace came. A rich carriage came to the long red carpet. As soon as the door opened, Felix began to leave the carriage. The white-haired man immediately gave his hand to his sister. Claudia, in a magnificent white dress, went down behind him. The girl sparkled with only one look. No one could resist her. Then they turned around and unanimously hazed Irene. The brown-haired woman said uncertainly, I'm not the main character. If you both continue to behave like that, it will become even more alarming to me. Felix answered, We will be there, so do not worry. Okay, I will believe you. Finally, we are in the imperial palace. The girl came forward. She was accompanied by a snow-white brother and sister. The guests immediately began to whisper, seeing the new arrivals. Rin squeezed the dress from discomfort. Felix hastened to reassure her. Do not listen to them. Their speech is not worthy of your beautiful ears. These people ugly souls live by other people's misfortunes. They will only be happy if you show them that it's hard for you. Therefore, it is better not to give them excess food for conversation. If you begin to match them, you will become the same person. Do not happen to this. It is simply impossible for the cow to become disgusting to me. Claudia reached out to Irene's cheeks, saying, Well, good. Rin came to her chambers and immediately flopped onto the bed. We came together, so why were we placed in different palaces? The girl lay, looking displeasedly, and frowned at the ceiling. I did not think that the artifact of Felix was still useful due to anxiety. They said he would tell me their location. They are together now. By the way, I only recently came, but already very tired. Suddenly, someone tapped the door of her room twice. With interest, Irene opened the door, asking, Who is there? A guy in a black suit and model pose sat in front of her. The guy looked towards Rin and said, Dear young mistress. Flapping, she answered, You seem to be a room. He knocked, sat there and began to pose. This is very strange. The guy jumped up, saying, Not at all. I came to the lady. I am Aris Moore. The excited girl answered, It's clear, and I am Irene Amber. Arasa smiled, saying, I wanted to tell you something. I thought that precious stones appeared before my gaze when I first saw your beautiful golden eyes. Therefore, I decided to give a damn about decency and catch up with you. I thought that if I just let you go, I will regret all my life. You may be a little embarrassed to hear such words, but I fell in love with you at first sight. Do not want to meet me? Irene nervously stood a pillar, without answering him. Suddenly, some familiar feeling surpassed her, and then memories from her past life surfaced in her head. She immediately sensed something suspicious, saying, I don't believe. Arasa spoke in despair. What, if you doubt my feelings? Excuse me, but I only believe in the Lord Desio and the next state religion. The guy skeptically looked at Irene, asking, Will this not pass with him? Then she stated, I will not buy. I have no money. I am a poor. Arasa was even more confused. You have chosen completely the wrong person. Goodbye. This was quite often with me in Seoul. However, the guy was not going to give up and stood in front of the girl. I think some misunderstanding arose, because I am really in love with you. I am grateful for your recognition, but I ask you to forgive me. Lady Amber, I understand that my feelings are burdensome for you. What the hell? Do not touch me. It hurts and unpleasant. Arasa was at the limit. Do not give me at least one chance. If you recognize me better, then immediately change your mind. Irene screamed. The guy loosened his grip, saying, Please, Lady Amber. This crazy one. She tried to break out, but to no avail. The girl shouted, "I said let go!" Then she hit him in the groin. It was a direct hit. The guy's eyes got out on his forehead. Irene immediately rushed away from him while he was sitting on her knees. What bastards are not in the world, honestly? Nothing will happen? It was only self-defense. Rin fled so quickly that she did not notice the person she encountered. However, only the girl fell. She raised her head and apologized. The frightened Irene immediately recognized this man. Felix? Without understanding anything, the girl asked a question. "Why are you here?" "I came because I was worried." But it seems in vain. The man immediately held out his hand, asking, "Are you okay?" Rin answered, "If you are talking about the fall, then everything is fine." "Inspecting her with magic," the guy said. The wrist blushed strongly. Felix asked with an incomprehensible expression, "Was it hurt?" The girl froze in shock. "Yes, not much." "Stop, have you seen everything?" "I'm not such a cruel person. I wanted to solve everything peacefully, but Sir Moore, I was going to make this hand no longer touched anyone else. It is a pity that it was all over. You treated him very condescendingly." Irene smiled awkwardly, uncertainly answering, "Well, what are you?" Felix began to list everything that he did with him. "By the way, the series organized a tea party. Will we go together?" Irene asked right there. "Will there be a grapefruit cake?" The man smiled broadly, answering joyfully, "Of course. By the way, I can tell the series about what happened." "Do not say. If you finds out Cerebrals, it will be very worried. After that unpleasant incident, too many men began to attack me. Whatever fool I am, it was difficult not to notice it." Irene thought exhausted. "Lucas, you are a stubborn bastard. Maybe he hired some kind of agency that sends different men to me. But even if he climbs out of his skin, he can't win these two. How can I perfectly be exchanged for this? Why are you building unavailability? How magnificent do you think yourself? If you have nothing to boast of, then you can't say that I don't like you? It seems that living with Chamberlains, you became high about yourself. But you should always know your place, even such as you. You are right. I really forgot my place. But Chamberlain reminded me of this. They say that I am a very beautiful, sweet, and lovely girl. In addition, thanks to them, you are not at all interesting to me. Yes, you, I see, forgot my place that went. How dare you?" Suddenly, a voice interrupted him, loudly shaking Irene. Grubby Ann turned away, and the girl looked at him in shock. In a pink dress under a pink umbrella, Claudia was going to her. "Finding the one I was looking for," the aristocrat said. "I have been looking for you for so long." The dumbfounded guy cried out after, "Lady Chamberlain? I don't know if you remember me. I'm the second son of the county." Closes ignored him, extending the flowers. "Rin, take it!" Irene asked, surprised, not looking at the guy. "Flowers?" Claudia answered joyfully. "Narval for our Rin. They are insanely beautiful. But how did you manage to find Frisia?" Clesis answered. "I ran them in the greenhouse of the Imperial Palace. And what is it? His Highness allowed me to disrupt them." Clores went to Rin, asking, "Why are you so blushing so much?" The brown-haired woman answered awkwardly. "It's just a little hot here," the aristocrat said. "Then let's return as soon as possible." Irene looked at the guy, awkwardly speaking. "You see, so you are here. I thought you had left for a long time. Rin is hot. You do not mind if we leave you? You have already finished?" The bewildered young man answered, "We are still talking. But if because of you our Rin receives a sunny blow, then you can take full responsibility?" Dumbfounded with such a question, the guy froze and fell into a stupor. "God, just look at how you sweat. Take it." "Do not pay attention to him. Let's go to the palace soon." Irene was delighted. "Have you embroidered this pattern yourself?" Clisses answered. "Yes, how do you?" Rin asked uncertainly. "Spider?" Then she noticed how she frowned. "Apparently not." With shaking hands, she continued to guess. "Son?" Claudia had already begun to cry, looking at Rin, brows again. "This time I have to guess. With the study of the fact that she gave me a bouquet," Irene shouted. "Flower!" the delighted Kriya answered. "Right! Guessed," Rin said. "Only you think about me. Today is so hot. Maybe play the water?" Clores agreed. Having reached the pool, Clores said, "You suggested playing in the water, but we are doing this now, isn't it? We just swim. You need to play in the water on the lake." There are many prying eyes. Until we return home, be content with the bathroom. After all, you also had a hard time. You were able to curb your character. No matter how you try to deny, you are sweet not only in my eyes. Not really. His Highness sent all these people. I did not think that you would be so popular, Irene thought. But no one is interested in me, Klings asked joyfully. But I'm still the best? Rin answered right away. No person can compare with close. It's time to play water, but it is still cold. Suddenly, Rin came an idea. Sings, maybe you will fill the bath? The aristocrat asked with surprise. Ask me to get water? In fact, I just wanted to see how you control the spirits. I have never seen them, so I really want to see. If Irene asks, I just have no choice left. Once in the family of Chamberlain, there is a born magician, Felix. Then there should be a sorceress who can manage spirits. Due to her enormous strength, she can communicate with perfume, but unable to conclude any contract with them. A minute later, Rin stunned at warm water. Claudia spoke. There is nothing special about this. Rin was a different opinion. What are you talking about? Clots are just amazing. This happened due to a small request, so it worked. To borrow the abilities of the average and higher level, you need a contract. If you send your desire to the world of spirits, some kind of spirit will choose you. Why didn't you send? You are not hated by the idea of becoming a caster. I tried to send him several times, but everything ended in failure. I did everything right, but something constantly interfered with me. Irene immediately thought, this is definitely his hand. The spirit of lies. Nihilus awaits a desire, preventing him from getting into another world. Spirits in that world feed on emotions, increasing their strength. Therefore, they create situations in which emotions can feel. And if the cow concludes a contract with Nihilus, then it will immediately break. But in the original work, the contract was nevertheless concluded. Is it not strange that the perfumes that I listen to the sings interfere with her desire? It also seems strange to me, but something bothers me. I can neither see nor hear spirits, so the reason is unknown. When I entered the academy, everyone said that I would be the first in the empire. Who can call the king of spirits? I heard it very often. Everyone around had great hopes on me. But, as you can see, they were disappointed and immediately left me, forgetting. I was barely able to get out of the academy. It was very difficult. Turned around, Irene hastened to console the cowards, hugging. I don't care if you conclude a contract or not. The main thing is that you are happy. Claudia was surprised by such frankness from Irene. She hugged the brown-haired woman in response and smiled. Only now anxious thoughts constantly visit me. The perfumes of the human world definitely love Claudia. But the fact that they prevent you from turning to the world of spirits, don't they try to protect you from danger? Even a good angel in anger can become fallen. Among the spirits can be the same. This means that a bad fallen spirit is assigned to me? Rin answered uncertainly. The probability is quite high. Therefore, it is anxious that something can happen to you. The frightened clay shuddered. What can I do? I was waiting for these words, my little nice dear. In the kingdom of nature, only low-level perfumes are found. This means that the bad spirit is the spirit above the average level. Then, you need to conclude a contract with a high-level spirit. The king of spirits or someone is similar, so that the evil spirit could not harm you. If the Rin hypothesis is true, then in the world of spirits, the evil spirit aims at me. Irene smiled. There are also high-level perfumes in the world of people. Claudia was surprised. What? But for the first time I hear about it. This is an independent spirit that does not belong to any of the worlds. Clores immediately asked. How does Rin know about this? The brown-haired woman proudly stated. There is nothing that I did not know. These perfumes are not limited. Even in the world of spirits, you can conclude a contract. It turns out that I can also conclude a contract with them? Certainly. When the celebration of the foundation of the country ends, we will ask Felix to go in search of an independent spirit. Thanatos in the language of flowers means death. Rin got one. You rejected this opportunity. This is the last warning. Irene received this message thinking, there are simply no words. As I said, you can even go out of your skin. Although this will not be enough when Chamberlain is in front of you. I do not like difficulties, but if it is for those two, for the endless glory of our great empire, Loxine, I wish everyone a happy celebration of the founding of the empire. But who is pushing for 2 hours? He himself is not tired of it? Suddenly, a golden dragon began to fly over the guests' heads. Fascinated by the beauty of the dragon, Irene thought, Is this magic? A fairy tale flying beast rode out steep turns. Irene was delighted with this beautiful sight. She held out her hand, on which bright shins fell. Klotz! Have you seen the performance? Isn't that great? Claudia, blinking, began to sleep sleepily what had happened. There is nothing more boring and empty than the annual ceremony. There is nothing useless in the world if you are experiencing difficulties. Then your favorite thing immediately has a value. If you avoid difficulties, even what you like can become a burden. Then Felix turned to his sister. Klotz, can you go? I will take her to the palace in which we stopped and will return. Irene waved after them, saying, Okay, good luck. She began to spin, thinking, It is necessary to get down to business as soon as possible. Noticing what she needed, Rin thought joyfully, Found! The only precious daughter of the Defalasian family. Erica, I have a business for her. You need to follow her. Suddenly, Rin froze, seeing the one who can ruin all the plans. She asked herself, Why is this damn type here? I will try to pretend that we are not familiar at all. She tried to slip past the man, but he noticed her. As soon as the girl caught his eye, he called her. I asked you to pretend that you did not know me, man. My father was even going to sell me. What else does he want to do? Irene, we need to talk. Come for a moment. I don't know someone like you. Why are you behaving like that? I know that you are angry with me, but is it time to calm down? Why would I be angry with a stranger? You are a strange man. For a second, the man got angry. The vein jumped up on his temple. Then he calmed down heavily, and put his hand on his face. Why do you behave like that? Talk to your father where it will be quieter. Why are you interested in the things you sold, Viscount Amber? Father asked displeasedly. So you are no longer Amber? Irene answered indifferently. I really hope not. Until you get a marriage, this is categorically impossible. The fact that I am your legitimate and biological father remains invariably. For this reason, he mocked me a year ago, and here again. If you are talking about the law, I also have what to tell you. Who did not fulfill their legitimate duties of the parent? And who has yet brought you up? You have to answer mercy. The guests began to whisper right there. It looks like they swear. It looks like a quarrel of father and daughter. It seems to be serious conflict. Irene asked displeasedly, but calmly. What do you want? Father answered. You received a proposal for marriage. It's clear. Then let's talk more in the place of slow. Fine, it's great that you are so obedient. The man smiled and said, I do all this for you. You will live no worse than the princess. Rin turned her head. While her father was talking, the girl again drew attention to Eric. Rin tried to smile at her while the man was saying. However, Lady Defalation gave her an indifferent look. Clores screamed, What happened while I was gone? He will use his power to insist on marriage, Felix asked. And who is a potential spouse? Count Tib. He is 20 years older than Rin. Are there really such scoundrels? I'm still not going to get married. Everything is in order. I just want to use the convenient current situation, Claudia thought. Will you use it? But how exactly? Klotz's face was angry. This is the work of the damn dog of the crown prince. Felix said right there, Do not say such cruel things. Why? What is cruel here? Are you on his side now? With a sweet smile, the guy answered. The dogs are very cute, Clyces corrected. Then he is garbage, the guy said. Garbage is useful. The aristocrat stood on her own. Unimaginable garbage, Felix answered. If you burn it, it can become fuel. Claudia could not stand it. Unimaginable, non-alien garbage. Brother, how can you remain calm in such a situation? The guy thought. Count Tib is a noble column from the kingdom of Crutia. Crutia is behind the mainland. You have to get there on the ship. Outside the mainland zone, extraterritorial law applies. At sea, I can use magic without a threat to be discovered. So if someone's corpse drowned, no one will notice it. Felix smiled sweetly, finishing, Well, something like that. How about taking Rin into our family as a gay daughter? However, Felix immediately refused her this cunning venture. Do you just suggest folding your hands and watch how Rin becomes a toy? Viscount can be bribed. Can we offer him the amount twice as much? Calm down and abandon the organization of a criminal collusion. Irene said, I have a better idea. Everyone immediately began to listen. Meanwhile, Lady Eric stood under a bright night sky. Sorry to appear before you yesterday in a bad light. This is not our first meeting, but we first welcome each other. Surprised Rin asked, Lady Defalation, do you know me? She spoke. You are known there that you are completely surrounded by love. Lady Claudia even hacked flowers for you in a greenhouse. These were roses. It becomes clear how much they look like you. Lady Eric lowered her gaze. I often hear it. They are beautiful, but, inhaling their aroma, only the smell of grass is felt. For the flower to be chosen, the best fate. Irene, smiling, asked, Maybe this is the will of flowers? What can they have? It is enough to remain beautiful. Yesterday, I heard that you received a marriage proposal. Still, the Chamberlain family will not bear responsibility for you. But if I do not want it, can I say excellent? As there is no will in flowers, so the lady should not have it either. It is sad to live your life, abandoning desires. Hearing Irene's answer, Erica smiled barely noticeably. She asked, So you fascinated Lady Chamberlain? The girl turned around and asked a question. What do you want? I will not obey my father's greed and will follow my will. You made a worthless choice. He will only entail suffering. Rin asked with all his seriously. Do you really think so? What is really worthless and painful is not to know yourself. I will become the unfortunate if I deny what I want to do. If you help me, I will show you what the will of flowers is. The only daughter from the Defalasian family, Lady Eric. She was the main villain and bride of Crown Prince. In the novel, she always mocked Claudia forever. She did something with the saddle, which caused the fall. I bribed the maid, which pushed Claudia into the river. I dismissed rumors and much more. She used anyways. Lucas knew, but only watched. Because of this, the series became dependent on him. He dealt with Erica when she decided to kill Claudia. No matter how you look, she played the same role as Martin. They are the characters who used, and then threw it out. However, now Claudia asked all the main characters. And he lives without leaving the estate. There is no reason for bullying. Erica did this with Close because of jealousy to Lucas. What I know for sure, she greatly longed for the place of the Empress. So her goal was power? But the authorities only wanted her family. And Eric herself was not particularly interested in this. She became a doll that was used for the sake of family honor. For Erica, which grew up in such words, these words were enough. The girl smiled. Interest was able to awaken in it. The next day, the man turned to the crown prince. I heard that you advanced the engagement of the ambassador of the kingdom of Krutia, Count Tiba, and the daughter of the Defalasian family. This is true? Lucas asked with suspicion. Duke, what is such a question? No matter how small the kingdom of Krutia may be, until now, it has been in friendly relations with the empire. You need to choose a daughter from the corresponding kind into the bride. If this is an installation of friendly relations, is it not better to select a beautiful lady? Count Tib will not want a gift that is difficult to manage. The words of the Duke Defalasian really make sense. Sending an aristocrat from the empire to wives is not the best way out. Do they raise such worthless conversations at the meeting? Yes. If the Duke is involved in this, then it is possible. But who then took the Duke himself into this business? Suddenly, Lucas met with the Duke of Benjamin. However, he only smiled and shrugged guiltily. Kronprinz tensed. Duke Lemberg, do you have something to say? Since none of you agree with this decision, I will personally choose a beauty that will appeal to Count Thibaut. The embittered Lucas answered. If this is your will, nothing can be done. After the meeting, Lucas angrily grabbed Benjamin by the breasts.